Igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, also known as the three primary rock types found on planet Earth. How do they form? Where can we find them? Let's dive into it. Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm your host, and this is Geography KZN. Now, if you look around you, pretty much everything is made of rock. Your house, the road you drive on, the mountains in the distance, the very ground you stand on. But did you know that all rocks are not created equal? In fact, all the rocks we use in construction are not created equal because they were formed in different ways, which means they have different properties that make them better or worse for certain uses. And to make matters more complicated, rocks can change from one type to another over time. So today we're going to name the three main rock types found on planet Earth, explain how each rock type forms, and tell you where you can find them. Okay, first up we have igneous rock, which makes up about 95% of the Earth's crust. Igneous rock is one of the two primary rock types, meaning they are the first to form. Igneous rocks are formed when magma, which is molten rock material, cools and solidifies. The word igneous comes from the Latin word ignis, which means fire or burn. Igneous rocks are most commonly found in mid-oceanic ridges where magma from the Earth's mantle rises and solidifies. You can also find igneous rocks at divergent plate boundaries where tectonic plates are moving apart and at hotspots like Hawaii. Examples of igneous rock include granite, obsidian, and pumice. Igneous rocks tend to have a crystalline texture because the cooling process allows atoms to arrange themselves in an orderly pattern. The size of the crystals depends on how quickly the magma cools. Quickly cooled magma forms fine-grained igneous rock, while slowly cooled magma forms coarse-grained igneous rock. But wait, there's more. There's also intrusive and extrusive igneous rock. Intrusive igneous rock is formed when magma cools and solidifies beneath the Earth's surface. Because it cools slowly, it often has a coarse-grained texture. Granite is a common example of intrusive igneous rock. Extrusive igneous rock, on the other hand, is formed when lava, which is magma that has reached the Earth's surface, cools and solidifies. Because it cools quickly, it often has a fine-grained texture or is even glassy. Obsidian and pumice are common examples of extrusive igneous rocks. Next, let's talk about sedimentary rock. As we mentioned earlier, igneous rocks are the first type of rock to form on Earth. Over time, igneous rocks and other rocks can be broken down by weathering and erosion, which forms sediments that are the building blocks of sedimentary rock. Sediments are transported by wind, water, or ice, and when they come to rest, they are compacted and cemented together to form sedimentary rocks. Most sedimentary rocks are formed from the fragments of other rocks, but they can also be formed from organic matter such as the shells of marine organisms. We can find sedimentary rocks in areas where sediments are deposited, such as at the bottom of oceans, lakes, and rivers. We can also find them in rock layers, and some of the most common examples include sandstone, limestone, and shale. And finally, we have metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rocks are formed when existing rocks, either igneous or sedimentary, are transformed by heat, pressure, or chemical reactions without melting. The word metamorphic comes from the Greek words meta, which means change, and morph, which means form. Metamorphic rocks are most commonly found in areas where tectonic plates are converging and mountain ranges are forming. They're also found in areas where igneous or sedimentary rocks have been heated by magma but have not melted. Some common examples of metamorphic rocks include marble, slate, and gneiss. Metamorphic rocks can be identified by their foliated or non-foliated texture. Foliated rocks have a layered or banded appearance due to the alignment of certain minerals. Non-foliated rocks do not have a layered appearance, and their mineral grains are more randomly oriented. Okay, that's what igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks are and how they're formed. But did you know that these processes can turn igneous rocks into sedimentary rocks, sedimentary rocks into metamorphic rocks, and metamorphic rocks back into igneous rocks? Voila! The rock cycle. Rocks are constantly changing and cycling through these three types, which makes our planet dynamic and ever-changing. This episode was brought to you with the help of a digital studio in nature. Do you have a favorite rock? Let us know in the comments below. And thank you for watching this episode of Geography KZN.